Hello students, today we will start with a new chapter number 4, quadratic equation for class 10 mathematics. The name of the chapter is quadratic equation. So students, that word equation means the sign of equal to. If you see a sign of equal to, there will be a left hand side and right hand side. The right hand side generally we take it as 0 and the left hand side contains 3 terms in a quadratic equation. The first term will have the power of x as 2. What is x? X is a variable. The second term will have power of x as 1 and the third term will have the power of x as 0. All the 3 terms will have their coefficients. For example, the coefficient of x square is a, that's a constant term multiplied to the x square. The coefficient of x to the power 1 is b and the coefficient of x to the power 0 is c. In between we can put a plus sign. So as you can see, the equation becomes ax square plus bx plus c, because x power 0 is 1 equal to 0. This kind of equation, this is a general form of quadratic equation. General form of quadratic equation. As you can see in this equation, there are 3 terms. The first term is the x square term, in which the power of x is 2 and the coefficient of x square is a. The second term is having only x to the power 1 and the coefficient of x to the power 1, it's a linear term, and the coefficient of x to the power 1 is b. And the third term is called the constant term. So this is called a constant term. The first term is called the quadratic term and the second term is the linear term. Altogether this equation is called quadratic equation because the highest power of x in this equation is 2. That's why it's called a quadratic equation. Quadratic means 2. If you see a linear equation, it will look like this. Ax plus b equal to 0. It contains 2 terms. One is a linear term and second is a constant term. If you want to an example of quadratic equation, we can write it like this. 5x square plus 3x plus 2 equal to 0. This is an example of quadratic equation. It contains the 3 terms. One is the x square term, the second term is x term, and third term is constant term. In x square term, the power of x is 2. In x term, the coefficient of power of x is 1 and the coefficient of x is 3, and in the constant term you can see it's 2. So this is called a quadratic equation. Now in this chapter, first we have to learn that how to solve this quadratic equation. Solving an equation means finding the value of x which satisfies this equation. Suppose we take a general equation. To understand how to solve a quadratic equation, we'll take an example. So we'll take an example of, suppose we take an example like this, 3x square plus 5x plus 2 equal to 0. The first method for solving a quadratic equation is called middle term splitting. In middle term splitting, what we do is that we have to split the middle term, which is the 5x, as addition of 2 terms. You can see that for knowing that which are the 2 terms in which we have to split the 5x, we have to see the x square term and we have to see the constant term. The x square term is 3 and the constant term is 2. So the middle term can be written as 3x square plus 3x plus 2x, because it's 3 and 2, plus 2 equal to 0. Now we have written the 5x as 3x plus 2x. Now from the first 2 terms, we can take 3 and x as a common, and what else will be left is x plus 1. From the second 2 terms, we can take 2 as a common, and what is left is x plus 1 equal to 0. Now from these 2 terms, we can take x plus 1 as a common, and remaining thing will be 3x plus 2 equal to 0. Now this means that either this term is 0 or this term is 0, because multiplication of 2 terms is written as 0. So we can write either x plus 1 is 0 or 3x plus 2 is 0. So x will become equal to minus 1 or x will become equal to minus 2 by 3. So these are the 2 solutions of the given quadratic equation, because if we are going to put x equal to minus 1 in the given quadratic equation of 3x square plus 5x plus 2, we will get answer as 0. So this is how we are going to solve a quadratic equation, by doing middle term splitting.